You don't lack motivation. You lack discipline. That's the uncomfortable truth most people avoid because it removes every excuse they've been holding on to. Motivation feels powerful. It feels like energy, like a sudden spark that makes everything seem possible. But it is temporary, unstable, and unreliable. Discipline is different. Discipline is quiet, controlled, and consistent. It doesn't depend on how you feel. It doesn't disappear when things get uncomfortable. It operates in silence, and it builds everything that motivation promises but never sustains. Slow ambient sound, dark background, minimal motion. Every time you say you're not motivated, what you're really saying is, you don't feel like doing the work. And that's normal. No one feels like doing difficult things consistently. The difference is that disciplined people don't wait for that feeling to change. They act anyway. They move before the feeling comes. They understand that action creates energy, not the other way around. And once you understand this, everything shifts. Fade in subtle heartbeat sound, slow zoom visuals. You wake up with plans. You think about the life you want, the money, the freedom, the respect, the peace. You tell yourself today will be different. But when the moment to act arrives, your mind begins to negotiate. You feel resistance. You feel discomfort. And instead of pushing through, you pause. You delay. You distract yourself. You open your phone. You scroll. You consume instead of create. Not because you don't care, but because you've trained yourself to obey comfort instead of command. Visual, phone glow in dark room. That's where the real problem is, not in your ambition, not in your dreams, but in your inability to act when it feels uncomfortable, because success is built in those exact moments, not when it's easy, not when it feels good, but when everything in you is telling you to stop and you continue anyway. That is discipline. Low bass hit, transition to darker tone. Motivation will never save you. It will visit you, excite you, and leave you. And if your life depends on it, your progress will always be temporary. You will start strong and finish weak. You will feel inspired for a moment and disappear when resistance shows up. That cycle repeats until you either break it or accept a life of inconsistency. Most people accept it without realizing it. Looping visual of cycle, repeating pattern. Discipline breaks that cycle. Discipline removes negotiation. It replaces emotion with structure. Instead of asking yourself, do I feel like it? You train yourself to say, this is what I do. That shift is powerful because it removes decision fatigue. You no longer debate. You execute. You become predictable in your actions, and that predictability creates results. Clean, minimal visuals, steady rhythm sound. The strongest people are not more motivated than you. They simply made fewer excuses. They removed the option to quit. They stopped relying on emotion and started relying on systems. They built routines that force action even when motivation is absent. That's why they move forward while others stay stuck. Visual, person working alone, no distractions. Understand this deeply. Your brain is designed to protect you, not to grow you. It will always push you toward comfort because comfort feels safe. But growth is never found in comfort. Growth exists in resistance, in pressure, in discomfort. Discipline is the ability to walk into that discomfort willingly, repeatedly, without hesitation. Visual, walking into dark, unknown path. Every time you avoid discomfort, you reinforce weakness. Every time you face it, you build strength. Over time, this becomes your identity. Not what you say, not what you plan, but what you repeatedly do. Identity is built through repetition, and once something becomes your identity, it becomes automatic. Echo effect, slow emphasis. This is why discipline is more powerful than motivation. Motivation tries to change your actions temporarily. Discipline changes who you are permanently, and once your identity changes, your actions follow without effort. Visual, transformation sequence, subtle light increase. You need to stop chasing motivation and start building discipline through small, controlled actions. Wake up at the same time every day. Do the work whether you feel like it or not. Remove distractions that weaken your focus. Create an environment that supports discipline instead of comfort. The less you rely on decision-making, the stronger your discipline becomes. Minimalist workspace visuals. Discipline is not built in big moments. It is built in small, repeated actions. It is built when you get up, even when you want to stay in bed. It is built when you focus, even when your mind wants distraction. It is built when you continue, even when you feel tired. These moments seem small, but they compound. And over time, they define your life. Soft, ticking clock sound. Most people underestimate the power of repetition. They look for big changes, big breakthroughs, big results. But real change happens quietly. It happens daily. It happens through consistency. If you repeat the right actions long enough, results become inevitable. If you repeat the wrong actions, failure becomes predictable. Split-screen visuals, success versus stagnation. Your future is not created by what you want. It is created by what you do daily. That's the truth. Not what you plan, not what you think, not what you say. What you do. Every single day. And if your daily actions are weak, your future will reflect that. If your daily actions are disciplined, your future will change. Strong base hit. Pause. Stop waiting to feel ready. You will never feel ready for things that matter. Readiness is an illusion. Action creates readiness. Movement creates clarity. The more you act, the easier it becomes. The more you delay, the harder it becomes. That's the pattern. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Visual, slow forward movement. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. Because when you control your actions, you control your life. You are no longer dependent on how you feel. You are no longer controlled by distractions. You move with intention. You move with clarity. You move with purpose. Brightening visuals slowly. Most people are controlled by their emotions. They act when they feel like it. They stop when they don't. That's why their results are inconsistent. Discipline removes that instability. It creates a stable system where progress continues regardless of emotion. Steady rhythm returns. You have to become someone who does the work even when it's boring, even when it's repetitive, even when it's uncomfortable, because that's where real growth happens. Not in excitement, not in hype, but in repetition. Monotone, steady tone. Think about this. If you repeated your current habits for the next 2 years, where would you end up? Not where you hope, not where you plan, but where your habits are taking you. That answer tells you everything you need to know. Pause, silence moment. So the question becomes simple. Are you going to continue waiting for motivation, or are you going to build discipline? Because one will keep you stuck, the other will change your life completely. Final tone shift. What are you avoiding right now because you don't feel like doing it? What would happen if you did it anyway? How many opportunities have you delayed because you were waiting for the right mood? What would your life look like if you acted regardless of emotion? Are you controlled by comfort, or are you training control over yourself? Slow fade visuals. Start today, not tomorrow, not later, today. Take one action you've been avoiding and do it without thinking, then repeat it tomorrow, then the next day. That's how discipline is built. Not in one big moment, but in small, consistent actions repeated over time. Soft rising music. And once discipline becomes who you are, everything changes. You don't hesitate. You don't negotiate. You don't wait. You move. And that movement creates results. Quietly. Consistently. Powerfully. Final fade to black.